Oh, hi, what's up? What's going on YouTube? It's your boy TVK. How's everybody doing? Today is yet again not Wednesday, but that doesn't matter because today is another episode of AskTVK where you can ask me whatever you want and I'll do whatever I can to answer your questions to the best of my ability. Today is a question that I am Today's question is one that is gonna humble me very deeply because it addresses something that I am very weak in, and that is playing the viola. So let's get this out of the way. In no way, shape, or form do I think that I am a super amazing violist, okay? I am very aware of my technical deficiencies and I'm very aware of how bad of a player I am. There are very good violists out there who are making a lot of money and are touring as soloists. I am not one of them, and every once in a while there is somebody who will definitely hit the nail on the head and see one of my technical deficiencies. And that brings me to today's question. Today's question comes from, I have no idea how to say this. What do you have to say about holding down your fingers? I've noticed in quite a couple of your videos that you lift your unused fingers when playing. There's a lot of advice online that says that you should keep your fingers down because lifting fingers will make you lose your position. What is your stance on this issue? And oh boy, this is really sobering. I think there are many different ways to play the viola or any instrument, and I don't think there is one way that is super correct. I think there is an optimal way, and there are many other sub-optimal ways that are totally valid, but you know, they may not be the most efficient. And I think what this person is talking about is when I play my viola, there are times when I play notes and I lift the unused fingers like this. And honestly, it's like not too big a deal, especially when you're playing more lyrical music and you're trying to really get the most out of your vibrato. And they are wondering if lifting your unused fingers makes you lose your position. First of all, I want to say, you know, in spite of me being online, I would say a lot of online advice is not necessarily the highest quality. I mean, because think about it. What is the requirement to be able to post any advice online at all? What's the requirement? Anyone can put advice online, so I want you to consider the source first of all. That being said, I think the advice to keep your unused fingers down is actually not bad advice at all. In fact, especially in passages where you play fast, I think it's super important to keep your fingers down because it makes the amount of work that you put out less. The key to good playing, good efficient playing, is using the least amount of effort and getting the maximum result. And I think the key to that is to minimize extra unnecessary movement. And in this case, the extra unnecessary movement is me lifting fingers that don't need to be lifted. Now, does that mean that it's completely bad? Not always, especially if you have a lot of experience and you practice your scales and you are very comfortable with your position. Just because you lift your fingers doesn't mean you automatically lose your position. And as somebody who has had this bad habit since the 7th grade, I can definitely tell you that it's not gonna stop you from getting in at Juilliard. All joking aside, seriously, this sort of tendency may hinder you in some ways, and I think it is important to learn how to play with your fingers down and know when you can lift them up. I think you can have the best of both worlds. It's when you do it involuntarily and don't have a choice that makes it bad. And in my case, it's an involuntary thing and it's bad. I'm a bad viola player. So to answer your question, no, you don't necessarily lose your hand frame. But at the same time, I think it is very good to keep your fingers down because it can make fast playing, patterns, all sorts of different types of playing so much easier if you keep them down. And if you're really worrying about losing your position, I suggest you go back to constructing a hand frame in your scales and practice etude books like Forde. or subject that will really help you get ingrained in where the positions are, where your fingers need to be, and then giving yourself freedom to, if you want, lift your fingers so you can get that really nice, big resonant vibrato. Be that as it may, you don't have to lift your fingers, and if it's not a habit of yours, don't start. Anyway, thank you for your question. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce it, but thank you all the same. If my answer to this question helped you out, smash that like button. And if you have a question you want me to answer here on the channel, feel free to tweet at me using the hashtag AskTVK. Send me a message on Facebook, send me a message on Instagram, whatever you need, I'll do my best to bring your question here and answer it for you. I also want to give a super special shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting what I do here on this channel. And if you want to support me on Patreon, go ahead and click this link. Be that as it may, if you still have a thirst for knowledge or motivation, check out my last video. Here's a clip. Aside from that, I mean, I had never played a string instrument, so I didn't know anything about string instruments or how to play them, and the learning curve was very steep for me. But because I was a competitive little I just wanted to practice all the time so I could just be better than everyone. And I mean, that should never be your motivation, guys, but I was like trying to be the viola kid. I was trying to be that viola kid.